everyone, I wanted to come on and make a quick video as like a beginner's help guide to some terms and terminologies around the crochet world, because I know when I first started I was so confused by some terms such as like frogging. What is frogging? I have not got a clue. So I wanted to make you a little video just to kind of explain a few things, show you some simple basic stitches that will be really good to help get you started. So let's take a look. Okay, let's get started. So the first one that we're going to do is whenever we start something, we obviously need to join our yarn to our hook. Now there's two ways that we can do this. We can either do it with a slip stitch or with a magic circle. Not a slip stitch, a slip knot. Slip stitch is something different. So let's do a slip knot first. So a slip knot, you're going to grab your yarn, using the bulk of your yarn, hold it into your fingers, and then get your index finger, wrap it round towards yourself, and then so underneath you make like a crisscross under your finger, and then with your main bit of your yarn you're going to wrap it in the opposite direction over the top of your finger, grab the back loop, pull it all the way over and off your finger and pull your finger up, and that is a slip knot. And then you can just join it to your hook, pull it nice and tight, and there you go. That is a slip knot on your hook. Okay, nice and easy, she says. We'll do it one more time. So grabbing hold of your yarn in your hand, wrap that tail end around, make a crisscross, bring it over the other way, grab that back loop all the way over, pull up, insert your hook and pull it nice and tight. And you have yourself a slip knot. Next up, we're going to show you a magic circle. Now, look, very much like the slip knot, there's lots of different ways that people will do it. This is obviously just how I do it. If you find a different way that's more comfortable to yourself, then do that. So you're going to take two fingers, get your tail and pinch it down. So it's looking like that of your fingers. Then with the main part of your yarn, you're going to come over and again, form that cross underneath your fingers and flip over and catch it. So underneath is a cross and on top looks like that. You're then going to get your hook, point bit facing down. You're going to go under the front loop, on top of the back loop, and then you're going to grab it. You're going to pull it through and twist so that hook is now facing up. And then you're going to grab the tail, the bulk bit of the yarn, hook it on, and you're going to put it through that little loop we've made. There it is. And that is your magic circle in there. And the great thing about these is you will do lots of stitches inside, then you pull this tail and it closes it. So with a magic circle, I tend to use these when I'm making squares, and I tend to use a slip knot if I am doing rows. So a magic circle is really good if we're just doing squares. But there's your magic circle. Okay, so next up, so whenever we do anything, we always need to do a chain. So we'll start off by doing a slip knot because we're going to work in rows. So attach that to my hook. And we're going to do a chain. Now, depending on what you're making, obviously depends on how long your chain is going to be. But these are just a whole bunch of chain stitches. So a chain is just going to yarn over and you're just going to pull that through the loop on the hook. So yarn over and you're going to pull it through. Now, as with anything, obviously it's always fiddly when you start. Yarn over, pull it through. There's 3, 4, it's always good to count your chains. 5, so yarn over, pull through, there's 6, yarn over, pull through, there's 7, yarn over, pull through, there's 8, yarn over, pull through, there's 9, and yarn over, pull through, there's 10. And that is a chain. That's your starting chain. And you can see each of the little chain stitches in there. Hopefully you can see those in there, because that's what then you work into for a project that you're doing. So for example, I made a blanket not so long ago and my starting chain was 192. That's when stitch markers come in handy. Okay, so that's your chain. Okay, so you've got your chain, and from there, obviously, we can then start to work some stitches. So a first common stitch would be a double crochet. Now, again, I'm in UK terms, so a double crochet is a US single crochet. So you've got your loop on your hook, and then you've got this next stitch here, and that's the stitch that you always work into. You leave that one. Sometimes it might be two chains down, but we're going to work into the first chain from our hook. So you're just going to insert it in, and you'll see it as you do it. We're doing a double crochet, so insert our hook. We're going to pick up our yarn and pull it through. So we've got 2 loops on our hook. See that? 1, 2. If you then yarn over, and we're just going to pull through both of those loops, and that's a double crochet. So we're going to do that again. So we insert our hook and pick up that yarn to pull it through. So you have 2 loops left on your hook. You're going to yarn over, oh, she says, and then you're going to pull through those 2 loops. And we'll just do that one more time. So insert your hook, oh, pick up, oh, hello. There we go, pull through. So we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through those last 2. And those are, we'll do a few more to make it easier for you to see, shall we? So insert, pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. And those are double crochets. And again, when you're working in rows, you can see it doing it there. Your yarn will always try to curl. That is fine. It does that. It sorts it out. And those are double crochets. Okay, so we've completed a row of doubles. We now need to turn our work. And our next stitch that we're going to be doing is a half treble. Now, if this was just a double, we would only do a single turning chain. But because we're going to be working into half trebles, we're actually going to do 2 turning chains. So before we turn, we're going to chain 2, just like we did at the beginning. 1, 2, and then to turn our work, you're literally going to just turn it over. Very simple, okay? So now we're going to work in half trebles. So a half treble, you yarn over first, and you're going to go into that next stitch. So you insert your hook into that next stitch, pick up your yarn, pull it through. So you've then got 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, and as a half treble, we're going to pull through all 3 loops. So again, yarn over, go into that next stitch, pick up your yarn, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So yarn over, insert to your work, pull through, and then all 3 loops go through. Can be a bit fiddly pulling through all 3. If you make sure your hook, when you do it, is facing down, it makes it a bit easier, and I give it a bit of a wiggle. Okay, so one more, yarn over, so half treble, insert and pick up your yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And those are half trebles. Okay, so we've got a row of half trebles. Our next stitch I'm going to show you is a treble. Okay, so again we need to turn our work. So because we're going to go into a treble, again we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then just turn over our work. Let me just loosen my yarn a little bit. There we go. Right, so a treble stitch. Very similar to the half treble, obviously. So yarn over, insert your hook into your work, into that first stitch, and pick up your yarn to pull it through. So again, we're going to have 3 loops on our hook. 1, 2, 3. We're going to yarn over. Now this time, we're just going to pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through the other 2, and that is a treble. So again, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch and bring it through. So we've got those 3 loops on our hook. yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops. Again, yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is a treble. So yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is how you do a treble stitch. You can see the difference. See them? So we've got a row of doubles, a row of trebles, half trebles, apologies, and a row of trebles. Easy peasy, right? So keep having a go and practice that. And then I'm going to show you a couple of other things. Okay, so you can see that this is bowed a little bit, but it's fine. Again, as you add more rows, it does straighten itself up. Another trick that you can sometimes do is if you make your starting, when you do your starting chain, do it in a bigger size hook that you're going to do to the rest of your work. That can help to straighten it out too. Okay, so another term that you will hear quite often is the term frogging. And this is one that blew my mind when I first heard it. People talking about frogging their work, and I just really struggled to understand what they meant. But all it is that you're going to undo your work. So say in here, we've made a mistake somewhere. We're just going to frog it, so we're going to undo it. So the easiest way, and this is the great thing about crochet, you're going to take out your hook, get the main bit of your yarn, and you're just going to pull. And it just, as you can see, unravels before your very eyes. And obviously you can undo as much as you need to go back to where you made the mistake, and then you can start again. See, if you do it slowly, you see, then you'll always leave up your loop that you can then successfully insert your hook back into to then carry on with your work. And that is frogging. Okay, and so the final thing that I want to show you today is just how to finish either your work, or if you finished a row because you're going to change colours or whatever, then we're just going to fasten off this colour or fasten off this project. So to do that, you've got to the end of your row, you're just going to do a chain 1, grab your trusty scissors, snip it, leaving yourself a bit of a tail, and just pull all the way through, and then just pull it tight just to secure it. And then what you can do is you get your trusty needles, because you want to sew in your ends. Now, if I was making, for example, if I was making a blanket, I would know that I'd be putting a border on this edge. I would actually, because I hate sewing in ends, I would actually leave mine, because I would then work them into a border. But I will just show you, for the sake of showing you, sewing in ends, which, like I say, is just the worst thing on this earth. Absolutely hate it. So thread through your needle, and then you just find, again, people do it differently, this is just how I do it. Just find some loops at the back of your work, and you're just going to very carefully thread it through like that, and just pull it through, and that's sewing in your ends. And then you can then go ahead and snip it, and that's sewing in your ends, which just secures it and then tidies it up. And obviously you would do the same with this tail as well. And that's that. If there's any other terms that you've heard that you're not sure of, or anything else that you want me to show you, then please drop me a message and I will happily show them. But happy crocheting, bye.